Hello everybody, here are two machines that I managed to save today. Well, not today, yesterday actually. I was walking to the shop because there was nothing in the house to eat, so I thought, well, I'll just go to the shop and get a ready meal. Not the healthiest thing I know, but they're tasty. And on my way there, I could just see this red handle sticking out. There was a house and it was being refurbed. And there was a load of rubbish outside, all builder's rubble and stuff in black bags. And right out the top of all the rubbish, I could just see that red handle sticking out at an angle sort of like that, and I thought, oh, I know what that is, and me being me, I knew straight away that it was an Oreck. So I went up the path of the house and I knocked on the door, and the dog started barking in the house, and 5 minutes later, was about that time, 5 minutes, I was stood at the door. A man eventually came and said, hello, what can I do for you? And I said, I've seen that Oreck outside. I said, well, I didn't say that. I said, I've seen that vacuum cleaner outside. Are you throwing it away? If you don't want it, I'll have it. And his face lit up and he said, oh, great. I made up you taking it, he said. Because, what did he say? I made up you taking it because there was nothing wrong with it. I was just sick of using it, he said. I just don't need it anymore. Nothing wrong with it, it works fine. So, you know, when they're doing things like, I noticed this week that Asda have stopped using 5p carrier bags in the home delivery, which makes it extremely difficult to take everything through to the kitchen. You can ban all the 5p plastic carrier bags you want, but if people are going to throw vacuum cleaners away when there's nothing wrong with them, just because they're bored of them, you know, it's not good for pollution, is it? So, yeah, it's alright, it's grubby. The only point which slightly saddened me was this hole in the bag here. So I don't know whether I could just stitch that up or whether you can still get these bags, because I would want one to match the red of the hood. I'd want one that all match together. So whether you can or can't, I'll have a look. But because this machine takes a paper bag inside the cloth bag, a hole in the outer cloth bag isn't the end of the world. It had there was a bag in here actually, and I took it out because it was full and disgusting. A genuine Oreck paper bag. You see a few pieces of shredded paper at the bottom there, which obviously missed the bag, or it's been used bagless at some point, as these cleaners often are. And I can't close that now, so that'll just have to stay open, which is very annoying. Do you know what? Has the bin been yet? I'll see if I can find you the bag, because it was absolutely, the bottom of it was hard like a rock. There it is. I mean, look at the size of that. These bags are ridiculously big, they really are. I mean, why you'd need a bag to be that big for a vacuum cleaner? I mean, and one of the selling points of the Oreck was, you know, it only weighs £8 or something stupidly light. To be honest, if you fill that bag to the top, that'll be about 3 times the weight of the actual vacuum cleaner. So I would test this today, but I can't for obvious reasons. The plug's been smashed. That was probably, don't know when that happened. It could have happened when he had it, or it could have happened when he thrown it into the rubbish heap. But the plug's smashed, and so I'm not going to test that yet. I'll have to put a new plug on that and do a separate video on that. We've got a bit of a black and red theme going on today, haven't we, with the vacuums? And the second one is this Henry with his head put on not straight, which is very annoying to me. Yeah, so I've not actually looked at this one yet. Do you know what? I've not told you how I got that. So, got the Oreck, knocked on the door, said hello, yeah, and his face lit up when I said, can I have the Oreck? And he said, yeah, great. Then he said, I've got a Henry as well that also works. Would you like it? I'm getting rid of it because I don't need it. So basically, these two vacuum, I don't know if that works. He tells me it works, saying that I don't know if this works. But according to him, they both work, and he's just throwing them out because he doesn't need them anymore. So how wasteful is that? Refurbished with a new toolkit, I probably get £60–70 for Mr. Henry. But yeah, so he said, I've got a Henry as well, would you like it? So I said yeah, so he started moving all the bags of rubble, and buried underneath was this Henry. And I wouldn't have seen that, I only saw the Oreck because I saw that sticking up. So let's see the insides of Mr. Henry. I don't know why I keep calling it Mr. Henry. Filter looks, ooh, sawdust. apart from that, it's relatively clean, and so is the inside of the bucket. It's obviously been used with like a sander or a grinder or something, or to hoover up shavings of wood. Loads of sawdust in there, no bag. Maybe he used it bagless and emptied it before he threw it away. So with Henry's head on straight, we'll test it. And I've had one of these like this before. It's one of these funny ones. What you have to do, you turn it on and it always starts in low. If you want it on high, you have to flick that switch afterwards, and that light comes on when it's on. When you turn it off and you go to use it the next time, it automatically resets itself to low. With quite a few of the modern Henrys, there's a separate low-high switch that actually stays down. This high switch bounces back to the off position. I used to think that was actually a fault on the first one I had, when I soon realised, no, that's just how these were made. There's the dating thingy, HVR 200A. So, we can plug this one in and test it. But I can't plug the Oreck in. Well, I will do off camera. Well, I'll put a plug in it off camera anyway. So, I'll plug that in here. And, you know, he said they worked, but just to be on the safe side, we'll switch it on at the machine. And then we'll go back in here to turn it on. Ooh, it's a low start. Fancy that? I don't know if my other one was a low start. I don't think it was, the other one I had with that switch style. Right, that seems to work fine. Listen to the wind down. To be honest, it sounds completely fine. It's just mucky on the outside anyway. The inside's quite clean, really. He must have emptied it before he chucked it out, even though it was used bagless. The inside is remarkably clean. So we'll switch it on again. Yeah. Oops. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely fine. Tell you what we'll do this time. Put it back on. Oh yeah, it's got a soft start. I've already said that to you. I have, haven't I? So you turn it on and it slowly winds up. It doesn't burst on straight away. You can be brave now and put it into high. Tell the difference. So it's working. The neon light is very dim though. You see it coming on and off. But it is very dim. What we're saying about the high feature, so I've got that on high now, but when I turn it off, I was looking through the camera, I missed the switch then. Wasn't looking in real life, just through my screen, so I was sort of feeling round. Right, okay. So if I turn this back on, it's not in high. You have to put it in high when it's turned on again. You turn it off. So every time you use the machine, if you want to use it on high, you've got to put it on high manually each time after you've turned it on. So you have to go on, high. Yeah, so that's that. Not too bad. Well, not two Henrys. One Henry. I don't know why I'm thinking Henry, because there's not many black and red vacuum cleaners, and then when I think of black and red vacuum cleaners, I think of Henry. But there is this Oreck. Let's wind this in. It's a bit, needs oiling or something. It's not as, there we go. It's not as lubricated as that could be. There we go. Henry works, but does the Oreck. I've got some Oreck bags actually, so I'll be able to stick a bag in it and give it a test run. I'll show you the underneath of it. The ratings plate. I think all these Orecks, so these older ones anyway, were made in America. There's the ratings. Let's have a look underneath the machine. Brush rolls there. Is it spinning? Oh yeah, it's spinning. Looks to be in quite good condition underneath really, just a bit dirty, and the bumpers sort of come out there, which could mean it's been apart before. Because sometimes when you take them apart, you need to make sure the bumper's clipped in properly, otherwise it does that when you put it back together. You have to take it apart again to clip the bumper in. It's got a spare belt there in the extra belt storage, which I'm not surprised at all, to be honest, as I think most people buy a vacuum cleaner, they don't even read the instructions, so most people probably don't even know that this is there in the first place. So if the belt was to go and they could even be bothered to replace it, they'd probably just buy one online and they wouldn't actually look underneath to see if there was one there. Yeah, to be honest, I've never got an Oreck from a skip, dump, wherever, even bought one or been given one. I've never had one that's not had the spare belts. They always still have the spare belt. Even if the belt on the machine is knackered or cracked or even snapped, they've always still got the spare belt in there, even if the one on the roller doesn't work. What's this? Caution, unplug electric cord before removing base. Right, to tell you what we will have a look at. See what condition the cord is in, because before I just remembered I noticed some tape, and depending on where that is, I might have to replace the cord or just shorten it. Well, actually, there's tape there. There's tape there as well. Tell you what, we'll look at the Oreck more next time. So I've introduced you to that, and you've seen that. So I've got so many Henrys now, I'll probably just sell this one. Hopefully get 60 quid for it, something like that, with a new tool set and a new hose, because it's so cheap to buy, so why not? And I don't really know what I'll do with that. It's got a hole in the bag, so I probably wouldn't get much for that if I sold it. Might just keep that and use it in my workroom. Saying that's a dirty fan cleaner, so that's probably not a good idea actually. I don't know what I'll do with that. We'll find out if it works first. But anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I shall see you later. Bye for now.